It has been a while since I reviewed a Bobby Lashley figure. In fact, the last one was Elite 89, and that is because the Lashleys that have come out after that have been missing the pointing hands, and Mattel has finally given us those pointing hands. Let's review this. Metal Driver here today to review Elite Series 103 Bobby Lashley. We get images of Lashley on the side and on the back, along with some information and the rest of the figures that are in this wave. And before we go any further, you fine folks, you have been acknowledged, and just simply AJ, you have also been acknowledged. With that being said, let's go ahead and open this up and take a closer look at Bobby Lashley. Here we have the almighty Bobby Lashley out of the packaging. We see all the details on the figure, and he comes with a few accessories that include a gripping hand and a fisted hand. The matching pair of hands are already on the figure. The right hand does have black wrist tape. These are pretty much standard swappable hands that I think every WWE figure should have. And speaking of the standard, here we have the pointing hands, which should be a standard with every Bobby Lashley figure. And finally, we are getting it with Mattel. Now, we did see these with one Lashley Elite, I believe, a while back, but for whatever reason, there was just this string of Lashleys that were released by Mattel without these hands, so I'm glad we finally get them again. So these are much needed. I appreciate this. I'm really excited just for these hands. But before we get to that point, let's look at the United States Championship belt. This is the modern belt, and this is actually the first one that I have in my collection. The figures that came with this belt, I just didn't have a desire to pick up, but I really wanted this Lashley, so I'm glad this belt comes with this. We get the design of the modern belt right here. It looks nice, sculpted really well, painted well, and the side plates are Lashley's plates. It says Bobby Lashley, so that is nice. So if you're like me who doesn't have the modern US Championship belt, now's your chance to get one with a brand new Bobby Lashley. And take a look at the head sculpt. I am not sure this is brand new or not, because as I said, the last Lashley I picked up was Elite 89. That did have a different head sculpt, and if this is brand new, please let me know in the comments. But regardless if it is or not, I like it. Looks nice. I like the expression on the face. It's pretty relaxed. It's not angry or surprised or smiling or screaming. Just a nice, relaxed, generic head scan, which I think works pretty well for this figure. The eyes are painted well, the lips, the eyebrows are all painted well. The sculpting on the face looks good. Has a nice likeness to Lashley. Get that smooth, bald head, so that looks really good. And speaking of good looking, here we have a beefy torso. I think this is fine for an elite body. It could be a little bigger. Lashley is a very big guy. Honestly, that ultimate body that was used for Ultimate Roman Reigns, I think that would be good for Bobby Lashley. So hopefully we do get an Ultimate Edition down the line. But in the meantime, for an elite, I think this is pretty good. Got an elbow pad right here. Just solid black, no paint there. And then some black for the wrist and the handpiece right here, so that looks good. Black wristband right here, so that looks nice. And then looking at the lower body, the tights have this black and yellow color scheme, half black, half yellow, and I like this. I'm a big fan of the black and yellow combinations, one of my favorite combos, so this looks really nice. Look at the crotch piece right here, painted well, good, clean line work. I like the gold around the belt right here, that looks nice. They've got that black and yellow going right down the center of his crack. It is a bit fuzzy right here on the line work, but it's not a huge deal. And then you get the Almighty Era in gold on the black side of the tights. The lettering looks really nice, good, clean line work. Not perfect, there might be an imperfection here or there, but it's not that noticeable. Then on the yellow side of the tights, we get this silhouette of Bobby Lashley doing his pose with the pointing hands. This is painted in black, it looks pretty good, nice good line work. Then going down the rest of the legs, we get standard black boots, no extra paint there, but the paint that we do get on these tights, I really like. Going over the articulation, the head is on a ball joint, it looks that high up and that far down. So really not that far down, but the range going up is really good. Can turn side to side and tilt very well. Shoulder goes that high up, rotates all the way around. There is a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows, hindered a bit by this elbow pad, so let's look at the other elbow, and there we go. So the range of motion is better with this elbow-less elbow. A swivel and hinge at the wrist. He crunches that far forward, goes that far back, a waist swivel. Legs go that far out, they go that high up, a thigh cut. Double jointed knees, a cut at the top of the boot, ankle goes that high up, that far down, and some slight ankle pivot. And here's the new Elite 103 Bobby Lashley next to Elite 89. If you can't already tell, I'm really satisfied with this new Bobby Lashley figure. I really like the tight design, the color combination is really good, one of my personal favorites. A nice head scan, and most importantly, he has the pointing hand so that way you can do his pose that he has always done. So for that reason alone, I recommend this. As I stated, since Elite 89, we've gotten a few Lashley figures that have come out after that. They didn't have those pointing hands, so I always just passed up on them, but this one, I really like it, I recommend it. So if you're a fan of Bobby Lashley, if you want those pointing hands, pick this one up and add it to your collection. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see more wrestling figure reviews, click on the card at the end of the video, and I'll see you next time.